Last night, it was the last step before the grand final. It was the Collective versus Bella in the bottom two.
The last act in next week's grand final is the Collective!
He really knows how to scream, Luke Jacobs, doesn't he?
He does.
On the phone right now, we've got Bella. Welcome to the show, Bella.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing really well. How are you?
I'm really, really well. I couldn't be happier, to be honest. I think the three strongest performers are in the final three.
But you're not in there.
No, but that's okay. I don't think I needed to be. I think I left when I had to, and I think it was my time to go for sure.
When I was watching the show last night, I was really very happy. That's not the word. I was very pleased with the way you kind of held yourself. You were very confident. You're like, look, I know I'm up against the Collective, and the Collective were really like the powerhouse of the competition. I just want to say I was really proud of the way you kind of went about last night as well.
And I think as well, like not only was your song incredible, you just absolutely nailed it.
Yeah.
Gave me the shivers that you did in your first audition, but also the fact that you thanked the crew and everything. Like when I got eliminated, I was crying too much that I didn't actually say anything, and then I had to do my thank you speech on radio the next day. So I think you should definitely be commended for even thanking everyone backstage, because they are so important to the show and everything that goes on.
And you'd understand that really, really well. I mean, there's no show without the crew. There just isn't. And the contestants are only a small minority about what the show really is about. Like, it's about teamwork, and there is so much teamwork backstage. Like, it's incredible what the crew can do.
Well, teamwork. You teamed up with Nat for the show. Mm-hmm. What was it like working with her?
I really love Nat. I really do. I'm actually texting her right now. Text her. She just asked how I'm going, and that she's really proud of me and wants to know what I'm up to tomorrow. Maybe we'll go out for lunch. But she's such a beautiful person, and what I really like about Nat is that she talks to me about everything, and I talk to her, and she's just a really, really beautiful person. And I wish Australia could have seen more of that, because I guess all that Australia gets to see the judges is when they're judging and being harsh on others, So, but she's so lovely, and I think we're going to be in touch for a long time after the show.
So what did you learn from your time with Nat, like in a professional singing way?
Well, Nat's taught me a lot, personally and professionally. She said that something that will help with nerves is to have a routine before you sing, and that means that every time you start the routine, you'll get into the right mind frame to perform, and that's actually really smart and something I'd never considered. Like, she said, before you're performing, eat at the same time, warm up, do the same warm-ups every time, tell yourself a mantra every time, at the same time, so it just helps. Like, you get into this feeling of I'm about to perform, but it's okay. Do you know what I mean? Like, so it's not as panicky as I usually am. Lol.
On Monday night, you said that you had a feeling that things weren't going to be as perfect as they had been in the past. Was it maybe that your routine wasn't quite going to plan?
It was because in my we rehearsed on the Monday. We rehearsed our songs a few times, and every time I rehearsed my songs, they weren't perfect, and I was like, if they're not perfect by now, I don't think I'll be ready for the show. And that had nothing to do with me. It was nothing that I could work on necessarily. Yeah. It was just in the first one, because I was dancing and singing as opposed to just dancing when I wasn't singing, I tended to get quite breathy when I did sing, and that was affecting that performance, and that got commented on by the judges. And then in the second one, you know how we performed with in-ears, like you had the earphones in?
Yeah.
I don't know if you'll agree with me, but I always find it harder to pitch with those. Like, I much prefer foldback.
Oh, absolutely. I thought that was the hardest part of the whole show, is getting used to that and having something different in your ears than what the audience is hearing.
Definitely, it's difficult. And Nat and I worked out that when I did ballads like Last Day on Earth, it usually helped to take one of them out. Yeah. So I could kind of get a feel of what was actually the audience was hearing, not just what I was hearing.
That's what I did in my second show too. So smart.
Yeah, there you go. But I guess I was just pitchy, and I couldn't really. I think I'm just vocally tired. I've been singing every day for the last 2.5 months. Your voice, it takes a toll on your not health at all, but just your physical and your mental, how alert you are. Like, I'm extremely exhausted. I just need a really good rest, I think. I haven't had much sleep. Even last night, I was baking cookies with Sammy at 1 a.m.
The rest is not going to come soon because you've got
exactly.
rehearsals for the final now.
Oh, exactly. So I've got this week to prepare for the finale. I'm very, very excited to see everyone again because it's been months since I've seen, like, well, for example, What About Tonight, and I was really close with those boys.
Yeah.
I'm so excited, and I just think, like, I kind of feel like as much as I don't want the show to end, I can feel that the end's coming, and I think we all can. I think everyone's getting really, because we've put our heart and soul into this. Like, everyone's put in 100% effort, and I feel like you can only give that much for so long. I really do feel like the end is coming. It's going to be such an amazing finale. Like, everyone's just ready to say goodbye, but at the same time, we're going to miss it so much. Like, that's why I was upset yesterday. Not because I got eliminated, because that was going to happen sooner or later, but because there's 1 week left of what has been my life for an entire year.
Yeah. Let's talk song choice on Monday night. First of all, Bulletproof. That's the first song I've noticed you really try to belt out, because your voice is obviously kind of like rolling falsettos and a lot of all other stuff. That's one you kind of just went all out, and kind of you're like dancing and you're doing a whole lot of stuff. Was it cool to do something different like that?
Definitely. I really wanted to, the reason that I wanted to do something like Bulletproof was because I wanted to leave the show thinking that I'd done everything I could. Like, I didn't want to think back and think, oh, I wish I'd danced.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I never wanted to have a regret. I never wanted to think, I wish I'd done this. I wish I'd done that. So I thought, it's semi-finals. I'm probably not going to make finals. Now is the time to try something different. And I didn't. It didn't really pay off because the judges didn't really like it. But at the end of the day, Nat and I really liked it. And I think that's the most important thing. Like, I always feel like the judge, I don't really mind that other judges don't like it because it's their opinion. But as long as Nat is proud, then I'm fine. Because I do it all for Nat. You know what I mean?
How confident were you with your kind of like your belting voice? Because obviously your go-to is the really lovely high falsettos. When you started rehearsing, were you like, oh, it's different for me to do this? Were you worried about going to the performance and kind of buggering it up a little bit, or?
Not particularly, because even though I do use my falsetto voice, I think that's what makes me different. I don't think that's the only thing I can do, and I do feel like I can use my chest voice. But I really like, you know how Sammy sang "Where Have You Been"?
Yeah.
By Rihanna.
Yeah.
I probably will look back on the show and think I wish I'd done a song like that, like, because that is a really belty song, and I'd have loved to have shown that kind of side of my voice, and I didn't really get to do that. But you know what? That's fine. Yeah. Like, Sammy obviously blew that out of the park. Like, she smashed that performance. And I do think I can do the belty stuff, but everything that I did that was belty was kind of like, I was sort of dancing at the same time kind of thing.
Well, belty is my new favourite word, so thank you for that.
Belty. I don't know what else, like power, maybe power.
I think we'll just go with belty.
Belty's great, yeah.
So looking like obviously forward past competition, we were talking about how obviously power, you like to sing it, but it may not necessarily be the way you may take your career. Do you think that you might go back and try and do your own thing, or are you going to try and get signed to a label, or what's your next plan?
Basically, he's asking, are you going to be indie or are you going to do mainstream?
That's a really good question. Firstly, it's not been decided on whether or not I'm going to get signed. That's way too early to tell yet. I mean, it's always a possibility, but obviously I'm not going to get signed until the show is well and truly over.
Yeah.
So if I do get signed, I guess it would be a collaboration of the company and myself who decide what kind of direction I'll be in. But if I don't get signed, it will be more my decision. And I think that I'm the kind of person, I'm very, very experimental.
Yeah.
I do want to do this kind of folky indie thing, but that's not the only thing I can do. Like, the artists that I listen to are very varied in genre, and I think that will reflect in my music as well.
Well, going back to that, of your first performance, obviously, we didn't want to really go into it that much, but Skinny Love, do you prefer the Birdie version or you prefer the Bon Iver version more?
Because they are different versions, I don't really prefer one more than any other. Like, I just think that they're completely different songs. But it's the original that I fell in love with.
Yeah.
The only reason I sung Birdies was because, well, not the only reason, I don't want to sound mean, but the reason I chose Birdies over Bon Iver's version is because I thought that for my voice, I could do more with Birdie's version, and I felt like I could take that to places that I couldn't take the original. But the original is the one I heard first when I was 15, I think, 14 or 15, and I was quite young when I heard it, and I fell in love with it straight away. I had it on repeat for months.
It makes me excited to hear you say that, you know, the songs you chose really suited your voice, because I feel that, you know, with some of the songs, they weren't, I feel they didn't display what is so fantastic about you. And, well, wait, hold the phone. What I actually want to ask you, and I've been thinking about this all day, is you completely changed Mel's opinion of you. You turned her around into a huge fan.
Did I?
Yes. Well, I don't know. That's what we saw from it. I guess, you know, you can tell us.
I mean,
but
the thing is, like, when Mel and I disagreed, it was always on camera. Like, when we were off stage, we got on, like, a house on fire. Like,
Yeah.
I just saw her this morning, because we both did the morning show together, and she's been bugging me about what's going on with you and Jason, and telling me how excited she is to go visit Albert. So we get on really, really, really well, and I just think, like, she's a very honest person. That's what I love about her. She's got guts. She has tremendous guts.
People
And,
have said the same thing about our show, that, you know, off air we get on like a house on fire, and then on air we come on and we just claws out and
Yeah.
we just fight with each other.
yeah, all the time.
So we totally know where you're coming from.
Yeah, but I just kind of found it, like with the question you were asking before about the song choices,
Yeah.
it was a really fine line for Matt and I, because, and I'll use Mel as an example, when it was party week and I sang my own cover of What Makes You Beautiful, which I actually arranged myself a year ago.
Cool.
Yeah, I liked doing that because that was very me, like that's about as me as I can get because it's my own arrangement, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? So, yeah, we took a risk with that song because it's not really it is a party song, but my cover of it was definitely slowed down.
Yeah.
And none of the judges liked it, but Mel particularly didn't like it because she was like, it's not party, it's not upbeat, like it's not fair to change a song to suit you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then I come out with Bulletproof on Monday, and Mel doesn't like it because it's not me, and it's kind of like,
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
a good
understand.
point.
I don't quite get it. And then and because the collective, what?
Sorry,
I'm saying-
Josh, you can't see this. Josh has been in our studio and he's been trying to like get a word in, but because he can't see you and can make some kind of visual cue to say, "I'd like to ask a question."
He's taking these deep breaths, being like,
I'm not. It's
I think he's
not like this
overexcited
at
to
all.
talk to you, Bella.
I really.
You've
kind
taken
of,
this whole conversation. It's just all about you and her at the moment.
it's
It's like we're hardly not here.
It's interesting.
I know, it really
Josh?
is.
Really quickly.
I really wanted to know, obviously, going into the competition as a predominantly like indie folky singer, was going to the competition in the first place your idea?
Yes. Because you know what, I left school and I knew that I was going to try music. I was like, that's definitely something I want to do for the rest of my life. And then originally I was just going to send a demo into Sony.
Yeah.
But then I was like, because that can sometimes take a really long time, and I
Yeah.
was like, I don't have that time. Like, I could record my own album, but that I need money that I don't have. I need time that I just don't have. Like, time wasn't on my side because I had left, you know what I mean? I had left school. I had no inclination to go to uni or get a job because I just wanted to start doing music straight away, and I thought, I need help. I need the X Factor. Do you know what I mean? Like, I would have loved to have done it independently, don't get me wrong, but because there is a certain stigma that comes from being on a reality television show, and I was very aware of that when I auditioned, but I honestly feel that I can prove to people that I can be my own artist, you know what I mean? And that the X Factor has helped me, not hindered me. I know I can do that because there is, I mean, oh, sorry, because I mean, even you probably got it last year, like. People make fun of people who come off reality television shows, and it's not fair because, I mean, what's the difference really? Do you know what I mean? It's still hard. It's still a lot of hard work.
We actually had a massive blow up last week here in the studios, where I suggested that just because we decided, let's be honest, it's very difficult to make it in the music industry in Australia without going on a TV show these days.
It's extremely hard.
And so I see a lot of, I don't know if I see a lot of myself in you or you in myself, but I definitely went into the show with the exact same idea in my head. And I think that you although you were portrayed so much throughout this entire season. I don't think they quite did you justice. I like you a lot.
Yeah.
I actually love you.
Thank you very much.
Well,
Thank you.
I loved your
You know what?
voice,
I
but
tend
now
to
I
agree.
love you as a person.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. I think that I was misinterpreted a little bit. Like, things can be taken out of context. They obviously have a lot of footage that they can use, and I mean, I don't want to say anything to contradict the show because I am very thankful of what it did for me. But like, there were certain instances where I was disappointed in how the editing looked and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But I mean, I get that it's a reality show. I get that they need drama. I get that they need, like, I think I was sort of the contestant they picked that would divide public opinion. Like, they needed someone who people wouldn't warm
Argue
to
about.
easily, and after boot camp, that was definitely me.
Well,
Yeah.
it worked. Now, we want to ask, because you are so close to the final, so you would have been working on stuff for the finale already in advance. So we want to know what you were working on for the final and how that's going to work. So is it like winner's single, and then what did they do last year? They had like first audition and then like your favourite song over the show? Or is...
Didn't they? No, they did like a thing. You know, kids. Reese did kids.
Oh, yeah, and the Superstar...
yeah.
Yeah, what were you working on with that, is what I meant to ask.
Yeah, so I'd worked on my winner's single, which obviously won't be a winner's single anymore.
No. Can you tell us a little bit about it, though?
See, I'm not sure. I don't think it's safe to say anything about it yet, because if I end up getting signed still, then I could possibly end up releasing
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
later on. So I don't want to give too much away about it, but it's a really beautiful song.
No
And
problemo.
that's what Nat was talking about when she said it's a shame because, you know, she's got a really beautiful song next week. But that's what she meant. It's a really, really pretty song. It's a gorgeous track that so I already recorded that a little bit and worked on it, but obviously won't be releasing that anytime soon. And then, so yeah, I would have sung my audition song again, which would have been Skinny Love. And then my moment would have been Sweet Disposition. Except, you know what?
What?
Kind of glad. Like, one of the reasons, I mean, I'm not glad that I'm not in the final, but one of the reasons I'm kind of glad is because, as you mentioned before, everyone goes on about the audition song and
Yeah.
got out of singing it again. And I kind of feel like singing it again at the finals would have just opened up doors of
For people
the
to.
only song she can sing well,
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean? That kind of stuff
Yeah.
that I just don't need.
All right, well, thank you so much for your time, Belle. Oh, we have to, really quickly, we've got like 2 or 3 Twitter questions, but we need like really quick answers. Lake and Payne wants to know, do you believe you're a mouse?
Oh, yeah. Well, not seriously. It's like a little joke I have in my voice.
Yeah, I think that was why she asked it.
Okay, my real last name sounds a little bit like Mouse, like not a lot, but a little bit, and so I would always say Bella Mouse.
Okay, well, that makes sense.
That's so
and then,
cute.
I make mouse faces, and I sneeze, and then I make a squeak when I sneeze.
and then, really quickly, Claire Mitchell wants to know, what was your favourite performance throughout the show? I think you already answered it with Sweet Disposition.
I mean, that was Nat's pick for my highlight. That was
Your
Nat's
pick?
But I agree, that was definitely a highlight. I think my favourite performance to perform been probably Big LA Taxi, because I just think
Nice.
it's so much
Cool.
fun. And I'm disappointed that I looked like I was trying so hard, because I don't think the judges felt that I was having fun, even though I was having a ball up on stage. But that
All right.
was so much fun to perform.
All right, well, thank you so much for your time, Belle. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
You are beautiful. I love you.
I love you too.